Hi, my name is Lisa, and I am a yoga teacher here at H.E.A.T. If you haven't seen any of the previously recorded sessions, I teach the yoga basics and this Hatha flow class. So if you've not practiced with me or not listened to those recordings, please listen to your body. Always do what your body's telling you. If you feel any discomfort, if you feel any pain, if you feel dizzy or nauseous or just don't want to do it, please back out. Please pay attention to what your body is telling you. I'm just here as a guide. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, and I just want you to be safe. And you know you better than anyone else. So with that said, I encourage you to try new things and, come out of your wheelhouse a little bit. Maybe this runs a little slow for you. My classes are gentle, but maybe you like it. Maybe it's exactly what you need. So to begin, we'll start seated. If you have a blanket, that's great to put under your yoga mat. That helps to bring the hips up and the knees down so that your spine is nice and long, as opposed to kind of sinking back like so. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can certainly bring your feet out in front of you. You can lie down, you can stand, whatever feels good to you. But I'll start today seated. So we'll start with a mudra. And what a mudra is a way to change the energy in your body simply by using a hand gesture. So we'll take our thumbs, we'll bring them in, we'll softly close the other fingers around them and allow them to land on your knees, by your sides if you're standing, at your side body if you're lying down. Feel free to close your eyes or softly gaze at the floor, a soft gaze. So yoga breath is inhaling through the nose and exhaling out the nose. And what we'd like to do is allow the body to expand. So instead of sipping the air, we want to inhale and expand. And exhale and feel the belly and the chest fall back towards the spine. Again, inhale, expand. Exhale, belly towards spine. So this mudra is called the H.E.A.T mudra, and what it does is it increases your lung capacity, it calms the brain, it calms the body, and it just brings an overall sense of peace and well-being. So we always start with the centering of our body, becoming present, observing what's happening inside. So let's start there. Let's start with a body scan. So take an inventory of how you feel exactly as you are right now, as you breathe. Maybe you notice places inside that feel stuck. Maybe you feel you can send a little breath there. Maybe you're focused on this one place that feels tight or closed off. Maybe bring your focus to something that feels good. We don't spend a lot of time paying attention to what feels good. Maybe your toes feel good, or your knees actually feel pretty good today, or your hips. Take a few more breaths just like this. Maybe as you breathe here, you'll notice that every exhale sends the shoulders a little further away from your ears. And that's a good thing. 2 more breaths. And go ahead and take your hands and bring the palms to the knees. As you inhale, allow the chest and head to lift. And as you exhale, allow the chin to fall back to the chest. So the belly button stays drawn back towards your spine. We're just moving from the head up. Nice and slow. One more time like that. Then we'll come back up through center. So from here, some seated cat-cow. So if you're seated, you'll lift your chest through your arms, your gaze will go up, your shoulder blades come together. And as you exhale, you'll round chin to chest. Belly button stays drawn back towards spine. You create that C-like pattern. Inhale, send you up. Exhale, send you down. Let's take 2 more like that. Now we'll come back up through neutral. Allow your head to land back on top of your shoulders. Bring your elbows in, palms face up. And just little pulses here. Again, the shoulder blades coming together. Beginning a slow, mindful warm-up. We'll try and pay attention as we move to how the body feels. One more breath. Nice work. Simple seated twist. Take one hand to the opposite knee. Take the other hand, take it behind you. Take an inhale, grow tall. And as you exhale, allow the twist to happen on its own. Take one more breath here. Slowly come back to center. Let's take a minute in neutral to notice how the body feels. See if you can pay attention to the difference between right and left. And we'll switch to the other side. So opposite hand to opposite knee, other hand winds behind you. The closer to your body it stays, the taller your body can remain. So take an inhale, grow tall. Belly expands. And as you exhale, belly button draws back towards spine, chest falls, you twist open a little. Don't force the twist, allow it to just happen. Inhale, send you up. Exhale as you twist. Nice work. Come back through center. If your legs are in like mine, bring them out, shake them out. Flex through the feet. So we still have that nice, our sit bones are grounded, our spine is nice and long. Press the thighs into the earth. And as you inhale, send the toes away. Exhale, draw them back in. Inhale them away. Maybe continue to keep your eyes closed. I neglected to say, if you have music and you'd like to play it, one more here. As long as you can continue to hear me, that's perfectly fine. So now from here, we'll take our hands behind us. We'll bring our feet up. We'll just windshield wipe a little bit side to side. And my legs are going to go, my knees to the left, my feet to the right. I'm going to come up and I'm going to face left. I'm going to grow nice and tall. And then I'm just going to begin this little bit of a wind down. Again, I have my back protected with my belly button drawn in. My abs are active. And maybe you feel a little bit of a twist and a stretch in your low back if you stay upright. Or maybe you find a way to come all the way down to the floor and just find a way to breathe wherever you are. Listen to you, not me. One more breath here. And then we'll come on back up. We'll windshield wipe a little bit again, hands behind you. And then we'll come over to the other side. Again, find that upright spine. Come face the knees. And then maybe find a little bit of length. Long spine, belly button in and up. And draw the head down. Breathe here. One more breath here. And then begin to come on back up, work your way back up. And from here, we're going to come off of the mat, just so that I can move my blanket. We're going to come onto our backs. So if you have the blanket and you want it to become a pillow for your head, that's the perfect thing for it right now, as long as it isn't too thick. And we're just going to take a slow descent. So soles of the feet on the floor. Find that long spine. Notice how I could be like this, but if I roll my shoulders back and lift through my chest, I get a nice long spine. My shirt's a little, you can't really see, but my spine is long. From here, as you exhale, chin to chest, and slowly begin that roll down. Use your belly button and spine. Maybe your hands come off. Then you really use your abs to draw you all the way down. Beautiful. So there's no thudding. Find a place for your feet that feels neutral. So for me here, it's really right here. If I bring them away, my abs engage. If I bring them too close, my back has to kind of pop off the ground. So just find that place that feels neutral to you. You want your back and those natural curves to stay there, and you want the natural curve in your neck. So you don't want your neck really high up, and you don't want to be looking behind you. So whatever feels good, right here, like this. Take a few breaths in. And then slowly draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Rock a little side to side. Let the head and neck go. That should feel good, a little massage to the low back. Maybe begin a little bit of a knee circle here. And then when you're ready, inhale the arms overhead, let the legs come out nice and long. Take 2 breaths here. And then slowly exhale, draw the knees in, give yourself a nice big hug, circle the ankles. And then take those circles the other way. And then drop the left foot on the floor, inhale, right leg to sky. Maybe, so you can keep a bend in your knee if that feels good. You want both hips on the ground. Draw those toes toward you and breathe. Last breath here. And slowly let that leg land. And then when you're ready, inhale, sends the other leg up. Take the toes, bend the toes, take a few breaths. Beginning to open up those hamstrings. That knee can stay bent. My left knee has to stay bent. My leg is really tight back here. But that's okay. It's just what feels good to you. I'm still getting that opening and releasing my hamstrings, just like this. Last breath here. Draw both knees in. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then allow that left leg to land again. Take the right leg, let it hover, bent like so, over the right hip and just find a little bit of a circular motion. It should feel good. Everything should feel, you know, it might feel different. Take the circles the other way. But it shouldn't hurt. Nothing should hurt. If it hurts, that isn't yoga. Good, and then just take the hand to the knee and slowly draw the knee out. Again, keeping both hips on the ground. If the opposite hip starts to pop, you've gone too far. And in. Out. And in. One more here. Nice. Allow that leg to land. Hover the other leg up. And again, find those circles. This is where you might begin to hear all that popping and cracking, and that's all good. Take it the other way. And then find that stillness. Hand to knee. Continue to keep that hip down, out. Maybe it's the exhale that draws it back in. Out. In. Out. In. Good. Give yourself a nice big hug. Last time here. Options here. We can either rock our way up or we can head onto our side and we'll make our way up. So slow, slow, slow. Coming up. We're going to find tabletop. So tabletop is simply knees under hips, hands under shoulders. We'll do a little bit more warming up and then we'll begin to flow a little bit. So head stays nice and long. We don't really want it dangling down here or looking up here. So draw your belly button in and up. Head nice and long. Press those fingertips into the earth. And as you exhale, begin to sink down towards your left heel. So there's a pause between your inhale and exhale. Allow that pause to shift you over to the right side. And your inhale sends you back up. Pause at the top. Continue to notice where your belly button is. Exhale sends you down left. Shift over during your pause of the breath. Inhale sends you up. If you're not exactly in time with me, that's fine. Shift over. So what I'm also doing here is spreading my toes. Let's take one more on this side. Pressing my finger pads into the earth so that my wrists don't take all the pressure. Back to neutral. Maybe take a breath or two in neutral. Inhale here. Exhale, come down the right side. Feel free to breathe out the mouth. Pause and shift. Inhale, send you up. So what this rocking circular motion is doing is beginning to loosen all that fascia, the muscles and tissues of the low back, the hip area. Two more this way. Nice work. So from here, we're going to begin our, to head up to standing. So we're going to tuck our toes and maybe hover those knees. Maybe you stay here and stretch out those heels for a minute. I'm going to remove my blanket. Feel free to do the same. Maybe you pedal out those feet for your downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, again, we want those hands and fingers really pressed into the earth. So it's not all about the wrists. We want our feet, heels heading towards the earth, but they don't need to land. They might. We want our shoulders nice and broad. We want our glutes heading towards the sky and our thighs rotating inward as if you wanted to hold something in your thighs. Downward facing dog. Nice long spine. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths here. Feel free to keep a deeper bend in the knees if that feels good to you. Soften the muscles of your face, your jaw. And then let's just slowly stroll our way to hips under knees, feet under hips. I do that all the time. And then maybe bring your hands back to meet them, keeping a bend in your knees. Uttanasana, forward fold, press the toes into the earth. That helps to tip them. So if my legs were straight, my hips would be over my toes. But I'm bending a little bit, so they go back a little, and that's fine. My pelvis tilts forward when I press my big toes into the ground. Let's stay here for a breath or two. Squish up your face. Send some figure eights with your neck, your nose. Breathe. And then from here, as you inhale, come halfway. Nice flat spine. As you exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, up. Exhale, fold, good. And then from here, press those feet into the floor. Draw your navel to your spine. Inhale, sweeps all the way up, nice flat back. Knees straighten at the end. Hands come up, gaze goes up. Maybe the palms meet up top. And as you exhale, hands come through heart center. You can't really see my full head here. I'm going to move back a little bit. So we're here in our mountain pose. Let's take a minute in our mountain. Let's align ourselves in mountain. Lift those feet, hip width distance apart. Lift the toes, replace the toes. Engaging that arch, engaging Padabana, that energy in the feet. Lifting the kneecaps, dropping the tailbone. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, your shoulders roll down your back. So you have all that space between your shoulders and your ears. Breathe here, maybe even close your eyes. And again, as if your hips could kiss, your belly button gets out of the way and they draw towards each other. Engaging your abs. Breathe here. Release your hands together, bring them up overhead. And as you exhale, begin to send the body over to the left. So the feet stay plugged in. It's a nice side bend here. Gaze can be at the floor or forward or up at your fingers, whatever feels good. Draw your navel back. Inhale, send you tall. Exhale, send you to the other side. 3 breaths on this side. Inhale, send you up. And slowly allow the fingers to float down. So we'll flow through 2 half sun salutations. And then we'll just begin a little bit of a flow sequence. So as you inhale, arms come up, gaze goes up. Urdhva Hastasana, slight back bend here. As you exhale, begin to hinge at the hips. So we want to tilt from here. We don't want to round. We want to tilt from the pelvis so my belly button's in and up. My back is nice and flat. I'm going to bend my knees because that feels good in my body. And maybe you get to here. Maybe you're here. Maybe you find your way all the way to the bottom. Whatever feels good for you. Find that long spine, then let the head be heavy. Take a breath at the bottom. And when you're ready to inhale again, come halfway up. And as you exhale, fold. Nice work at the bottom. Take an inhale, sweep all the way up. Draw your belly button in and up. Try to keep that nice flat back all the way up. Gaze follows. Exhale, release hands to heart center. One more time, a little smoother through. Inhale up. Exhale as you hinge at the hips. Belly button to spine. Nice flat back. Find your bottom, wherever that is, your edge. When you're ready to inhale, lift and lengthen. And when you're ready to exhale, fold. Inhale, find you all the way up at the top. And the exhale sends your hands to your heart center. Beautiful work. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. One more breath in our mountain. And as you inhale, arms come up, gaze goes up. As you exhale, hinging at the hips, folding forward, finding that floor. This time we're going to find the floor, and we're going to walk to our downward facing dog. So if you don't want, if downward dog is not where you want to be right now, feel free to come to tabletop. Downward facing dog, 1 or 2 breaths here. Exhaling out the mouth if that feels good. And on your next inhale, begin to lift up onto your toes, roll the body forward, find yourself in plank pose. Take a breath or 2. When you're ready to exhale, belly button to spine. Use the breath, the exhale, to send you back. Let's do 2 more like that. Inhale, send you forward. When you're ready to exhale, you float back. Use your breath timing, not mine. Really plug those fingers in so the wrists don't do all the work. And then go ahead and let's let the legs land. So I'm going to come to face you. We want to be facing the long edge of our mat now. We're going to come up to this kneeling pose. We're going to work towards gate pose, Parigasana. So I have the tops of my feet flat on the floor. Again, I have my belly button in and up and my hips joined together. Take an inhale. Notice how the shoulders lift. Allow the shoulders to draw back behind you and fall back towards the floor. So here we are in this nice neutral kneeling Tadasana, I guess I'll call it. Inhale sends the arms up. Gaze goes up. And as you exhale, allow one arm to come down towards the floor, maybe gaze at it. And really stretch from fingertip to fingertip. Take a breath or 2 here. And then again, belly button to spine. Inhale sends you all the way up. Maybe the gaze follows. And the exhale sends the other arm down. Really reach fingertip to fingertip, full line of energy. Inhale, send you up. And the exhale sends the hands through heart center. Nice work. So from here, from this engaged Tadasana, so our tailbones drawn towards the ground, our hips and pelvis are heading towards each other, nice and activated. So from here, I'm going to just bring my left leg out long so that the sole of my foot stays on the ground. My heel is in line with my knee. As I inhale, my arms come up. And maybe as I exhale, my arm comes down, reaches towards that thigh. Maybe the other arm comes up. Maybe I stay here. Maybe I continue down a little bit further. Take a few breaths here. And then when you're ready, come on back up. From here, let's see if we can drop that arm so that now in line we have foot, knee, hand. So we want to press so far into this foot that this hand has almost no weight in it. And again, it's about being lateral. I don't really want to be facing the ground. I want to be opening my chest towards the sky. And maybe this other arm comes up. Maybe it comes all the way over. Take a few breaths. Again, gaze can be anywhere that feels good to you. Press that foot into the ground. Nice work. And then maybe from here, options. Maybe you lift that leg. Maybe you draw knee to elbow. Maybe you just flow in and out. Whatever feels good to you, but it's slow and it's mindful. Let's take 2 or 3 more breaths in whatever you've opted to do here. You can certainly stay put. Variations here, if you don't choose to do this, you can certainly be in a child's pose or staying in that kneeling mountain. We're going to come up, finding our way up, keeping the foot and knee in line. Nice, tall, activated spine. Take an inhale, find that nice, tall chest. And as you exhale, just as we would if we were standing, begin to tip that pelvis forward. Walk the hands down so we have a nice, long spine. You can't see my spine, but it's nice and long. I'm going to walk my hands out as far as my shoulders. And I'm going to take a few breaths here. Again, the head is long. It's not dangling. It's not looking up at the sky. But maybe with that belly button joint back to the sky, maybe this arm comes up and we find a little bit of a twist and we breathe into this twist. And from here, as you exhale, maybe this arm comes down and comes under and through. The inhale sweeps us up. The exhale draws us under and through. Let's take 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale as you're drawn under and through. And notice how the abs stay engaged. Navel's drawn back to the spine. The spine is nice and long. Last time here. And allow that hand to land. And then from here, as you exhale, begin to shift back, sinking back towards that heel, finding a child's pose. Or if that child's pose doesn't feel right to you, draw the elbows and arms out, coming into an Ardha puppy pose. Whatever feels right in your body. See if you can find a place for everything to land. We want everything landed, grounded, feeling safe. Breathe through it. Take 2 or 3 more breaths here. One more. And then we'll begin to shift up. And then we'll take that leg and we'll move it back inside. And we'll just do a little bit of a glide side to side. Take a breath, take 2. So we're really back in tabletop now. And then we'll slowly walk our way up. Finding our kneeling Tadasana. Take an inhale up. Exhale, hands through heart center. 2 more like that. Inhale, send you up. Maybe the gaze follows. Exhale, hands through heart center. 1 more, your breath timing, not mine. Take a minute to notice how the body feels. Notice the difference between the right and left side. And then from here, we'll switch legs. We'll go through that whole sequence on this side. So now my right leg is in line with my left knee. Take an inhale, arms come up. And as you exhale, I begin to head down towards this leg. Breathing here. Beautiful work. Take 1 more breath. And then again, belly button to spine. Inhale, come on up. Exhale as you drop that arm again. Up to you. You don't have to. You can stay where you were. Really sink that foot into the ground. Maybe this arm stays up top. Maybe it comes all the way up and over. Let's take 3 or 4 breaths here. Gaze can be at your fingers. And again, press those fingers into the floor if you're using your hand. You want to have so much weight in this leg that you don't even need your hand. Not a lot of weight in the hand. Breathe. Nice work. And then from here, options. Again, maybe you lift the leg. Maybe you need elbow. Let's do one more wherever you are. Maybe you're flowing in and out. And then we're going to come back up. So from here, again, find that nice tall chest. Begin to hinge at the hips, finding the floor with your hands. Nice long spine. Walking those hands out so that they're underneath your shoulders. Breathing here. Nice long head. Gaze can be a little bit away, maybe a foot beyond your fingers. And the sole of that foot's really plugged in. From here, inhale, arm up. Maybe you stay in that twist for 3 or 4 breaths. Your breath pattern, not mine. Inhales through the nose. And when you're ready, on exhale, see if you can begin to send that arm under and through. Inhale as you send it up. Exhale as you send it under and through. Let's take 3 more. And I've lost count, so I'm going to do 1 more. And then allow that hand to land. And then from there, options, you can come back into that half of a child's pose. You can walk your fingers out a little longer and come into puppy pose, which is forearms and head on the ground. Or just forearms on the ground. But I like to find a place for everything to land. Or you can just bring that leg back in and come into a full child's pose. So wherever you are, take 3 breaths. And then meet me in full child's pose. And from your full child's pose, we'll just breathe here. 3 or 4 full breaths. And we'll slowly come out of it. You'll find yourself, so I'm sitting on my heels, which is Vajrasana. If you want to sit between your feet, as long as your feet don't splay out to the sides, which torques the knees, Hero's pose, Varasana, is available. Or you can simply come to a seat. And we'll just come back to those early beginnings. We'll find our breath again. So maybe wherever you are, Heroes, Vajrasana, or Sukhasana, find that Adi Mudra again. Thumbs in, fingers closed, maybe the gaze softens. And let's go back to that body scan for a second and just notice where in the body you feel the breath now. Inhales through the nose. Exhales out the nose. When you're comfortable with your breath, I'd love for you to See if you can slow the exhales. Well, maybe the inhale is 2 or 3 seconds if you count it. Maybe you can get the exhales to be 3 or 4. Maybe you notice as you do that, the exhale becomes audible. You can hear it like the ocean. Let's take 1 or 2 more breaths. Go ahead and release those fingers. Just do a little bit of wrist stretches. I like to do these because a lot of people suffer with that carpal tunnel, but we do a lot of wrist work here. So with the wrist facing in, thumbs are on top. Take one thumb to the other wrist, and here are those carpal tunnel bones are here. We're just gonna take the wrist. Now again, if you have a doctor's order that says you have really weak wrists and they're tentative or pinched nerve, please don't. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths, just releasing some of that tension that gets pent up in there. One more time, we'll switch sides. Good, other side. And notice again, wow, maybe this hand feels really different, way tight. Or maybe this hand feels just fine. And then wiggle those fingers around. Let's even take a little bit of a face stretch. Really trying to squeeze and release that tension. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. Good. We'll swing around if you're facing the long edge of your mat like I was. And maybe we'll take that slow descent down again. So find your hands under your thighs, nice tall chest. Maybe the gaze is even up a little bit. And as you exhale, chin to chest, begin to find that long, slow. Maybe you even let go. Draw that belly button back. And come on down. Nice work. Let's bring the feet in. Again, just like I described earlier, where you don't feel that back activating at all. So the back stays nice and neutral. Curves stay in the low back. The curves are in the head, under the neck rather, I should say. And from here, let's just take a breath. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just allow the head to drop over to the right side. Maybe close the eyes and take a breath or 2. Inhale, send you back up. Take a breath in center. Take an inhale. And the exhale sends you over to the left. Stay for a breath or 2. Shoulders on the mat. And then come on back up. From here, let's send that right leg back to the sky. So as if the sole of the foot could press the floor, the ceiling away. Maybe you don't need that bend that you started with. Bend those toes toward you and breathe. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we'll slowly lower that leg, long leg, all the way to the ground. Drawing that belly button, you guessed it, back towards your spine. And it lands ever so slowly, no thudding. And is it there yet? No, it's there. Good work. Shake it out, shake it all around. And draw that leg in. And left leg inhales to the sky. Flatten that sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Draw those toes towards you. Breathe. What do you notice? One more breath. And then we'll slowly, you got it, drawing that belly button down. Ever so slowly, draw that leg down. Take a few breaths. Don't hold your breath. Maybe one long exhale. It's not there yet, it's not there yet, it's there. Shake it out. Draw it in to meet the other leg. And then from here, allow the feet to come together, soles of the feet together. Knees come out. Now, it's not about getting the knees flat on the ground. Again, we want that natural curve in the back. Find your hands on your belly. Maybe your knees are on the ground. That's great. But if they're not, that's great too. Just be here. Allow this stretch to happen. Where can you soften? Where are you holding? We hold tension in so many places. Allow the breath to be an opportunity to release some of that tension. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead and inhale the legs together. Heel till the feet as wide as your mat. So they are separated now. And just go ahead and rock the windshield wipe side to side. Maybe your gaze goes opposite your knees. And then the next time the knees come over to the right, allow them to land. Maybe they're staggered. Allow the arms to come up either at shoulder height, palms down or up, overhead, or bent like cactus at your sides. So it's really about keeping the shoulders on the ground as opposed to getting the knees on the ground. And then allow your gaze to go opposite the knees if that feels good in your body. One more breath. And then center everything. Knees come up. Feet are as wide as the mat. Give it another windshield wipe, a little bit side to side. Arms can stay where they were. And then when the knees go opposite, allow them to land there. Again, noticing the difference. Maybe you're saying to yourself, oh wow, they really land and this side feels so much more open. Or maybe you're saying, wow, that other side was so much easier. Doesn't matter, it isn't a contest. Just about taking a little bit of time to notice what's happening inside. Self-study is part of the plan. It's part of how we learn to connect mind, body, breath. One more breath here. When you're ready, bring your knees back in, draw them up. Give yourself a nice big hug. Allow the low back to massage a little bit side to side. And when you're ready, from here, walk the legs out long. Allow them to be wide, wider than your knees. Allow your knees to be wider than your hips. Find a comfortable place for your hands. And we will begin to invite Shavasana inside. Shavasana is the most important part of any yoga plan. Go back to finding where your breath is. And as you inhale, allow that breath to spread. And as you exhale, allow the exhale to soften. Soften the muscles of the face. Soften and unhinge your jaw. Throw your shoulders down into the mat and away from your ears. Feel your fingers relaxed. Feel your back spread wide. Hips and thighs heavy on the earth. Legs landed yet soft. Kneecaps released. Easy feet. All points of the body have landed. You're grounded, you're safe. When the body feels safe, the body can relax. Inviting Shavasana inside. Breath by breath. Begin to bring a deeper breath back into your body. Slight movement to your fingers and your toes, your ankles and wrists. And gently rock your head from side to side. When you're ready, draw your knees up into your chest and gather yourself for a breath or two there. And slowly rock onto your side and gather yourself there for a breath or two. Press your way up to a seat. We'll meet in our seat. Feel free to stay where you are as long as you like. If you don't want to close with me, that's perfectly fine. Continue your Shavasana if that feels good to you. Those of you closing with me, ground your sit bones to the earth. Feel the crown of the head reach tall. Nice long spine in between. Connect back to your breath. Maybe take that mudra one last time, thumbs in, fingers closed. How does your breath feel now? Now you can do this anywhere. You can stop, you can breathe, you can change your day. Thank you all so much for watching this and sharing my practice, your practice, practicing with me. Hands to heart center, soften your head to your heart. Thank you so much. Namaste. Namaste.